The last time Naughty Dog gave us any official word on the development of The Last of Us Factions Part 2 was back in September of 2019, where they stated that we will eventually experience the fruits of their team's online ambition. Well, here we are, waiting for that fruit. And we want to know where Factions 2 is. But more importantly, when will we actually hear anything about it again? Dr. Pooplove here, and today I want to talk about 5 clues that The Last of Us 2 multiplayer will be announced soon. And if you want to see more Factions 2 coverage, consider subscribing. But let's get right on with the clues. The first clue that we have is Naughty Dog's recent hiring blitz. Anyone that's seen other videos similar to this know that by looking at the job postings, you can get some nice clues. And Naughty Dog Jobs Twitter has been posting quite a bit lately, looking for positions for roles, many of which reference multiplayer design as part of the requirements. Now, you may think that this means that Naughty Dog is just getting started, but I did a little digging into Naughty Dog Jobs Twitter's past and uncovered some salacious details. No, but what I found is that Naughty Dog was similarly kind of ramping up postings around November of 2019. Now, this is about 7 months ahead of the actual release of The Last of Us Part 2. And if you consider COVID kind of delaying things, it appears that Naughty Dog could be ramping up postings even within half a year of the actual release. And since they've been posting quite a bit lately, I think it stands to reason that we should at least be expecting to see an announcement soon. The second clue that we have is that one of these key job postings has seemingly been filled. Now, if you caught one of my earlier videos about when The Last of Us 2 multiplayer might be coming out, you would know that I predicted that once the video editor position that had been posted for a while was filled, that I didn't think it would be too long before we actually got an announcement. Now, props to the beast with the eagle eyes on Reddit, Daco12, who caught this. He noted that you can no longer find the video editor position on Naughty Dog's website. And as a result, it's seemingly been filled. Now, this position was someone who was billed as being able to cut trailers, presumably the trailer that would be used to announce Factions 2. And so with this position being filled, I think it stands to reason that once this person gets started, they're going to be working with gameplay footage that is at least close to polished, because why would you hire someone if things aren't ready? And hopefully we would be able to see a trailer soon. I don't know how long it typically takes, but I would guess maybe a matter of months before at least it's ready. Now, they may still hold it for a while before actually showing it, but I think we can make a good assumption that at least now the trailer for announcement is being worked on. The third clue is a little bit old, but it's the actual leaks themselves. I'm not going to show them here, but if you caught any of the leaks that have gone around, it shows gameplay which looks somewhat close to done, and these are dated from 2018 to 2020. So it kind of begs to question what more does really need to be done in order to finish this game. It could just be the ambition and scope of this game is very large. Something like a battle royale mode may be in development, which would take a lot longer to tweak and design. But at least from the leaks, it seems like a lot of the gameplay is at least close to done. And because of that, I don't know if there really would be much standing in the way from having a gameplay trailer being cut, made, and shown for an announcement. Now, my theory is that they are not going to announce it until the game is almost ready for release, and they might even release it within a very short time period of it being announced, in kind of the same way that Apex Legends did to kind of build hype and momentum for the game. So maybe that could be a reason why it's taking so long. They want it to be pretty much almost done, but it seems like at the very least they could get started and rolling on developing a announcement trailer of some sort. Now, the fourth clue we have is the Jason Schreier article that was posted more than a month ago, where he mentions the various projects that Naughty Dog has been working on, and he lists 3 of them: a new Uncharted game, a Last of Us remake, and of course, a multiplayer project, presumably Factions 2. Now, based on the article, two of these projects, the Uncharted game and the Last of Us remake, were largely supported by other entities, the Visual Arts Service Group for the remake and Sony Bend for the Uncharted game, with kind of only more recently Naughty Dog taking over for those projects in a more hands-on way. So I think that kind of seems to leave the core of Naughty Dog with working on the multiplayer itself. And now I could be wrong, but at least from the way the article portrays things, it seems like the multiplayer was the only project that wasn't really portrayed as being in some sort of developmental hell. The Last of Us remake, there was some strife between the Visual Arts Service Group and Naughty Dog, and that may not come out for a number of years. And Sony Bend basically was asking to get pulled off of the Uncharted project, and eventually, recently, apparently were. Now, Sony Bend is also supposedly helping on the multiplayer project, and maybe there is some strife over that, but it was not mentioned explicitly in the article. And at the very least, it seems that this game is next in the pipeline for getting developed. Now, clue number 5 is that Naughty Dog themselves have been kind of more openly talking about the multiplayer. Now, it's not been explicit. It's been very subtle, but you can see in recent tweets from Neil Druckmann, Vinit Agarwal, co-game director apparently of the multiplayer project, and Arnie Meyer, director of communications at Naughty Dog himself, has referenced it in certain tweets. To me, I think all of this is just saying that Naughty Dog is getting kind of confident about the state of where this game is in. And I think they're very aware that people are really hungry for information, and it seems that they've been given some sort of permission or are able to do these subtle references, which have accelerated more recently. You've seen these tweets and subtle references being brought up more and more frequently these days. So all these things, in my mind, point to this game being at least close to being announced. And I wonder what else could be in the way of them announcing it this year. What do you all think? What could be taking so long? But while we wait, why don't you check out some of these other Factions 2 predictions videos or some of my other videos just on the state of the original Factions. But that's all from me. So long, Pooper Troopers.